This message is not for everyone. If you are not walking the divine path of God, if your heart is not aligned with His will, if you are only curious but not committed, then you should not continue. This message is only for God's chosen ones, those who have been set apart, those who have been tested, refined, and kept under divine observation. If you are a true follower of God, and you know deep inside that your life has never been ordinary, then you are exactly who I am speaking to. Chosen one, listen carefully. What you are about to hear is not casual encouragement. This is a serious message. The plan has already begun, and God will not turn back. This message reached you at the perfect time, not early and not late. Heaven does nothing randomly. If you are here, it is because God allowed you to hear this now. What you understand today will change how you move, how you decide, and how you prepare for what is coming next. Stay with me until the end, because clarity will replace confusion. Before we go deeper, I want you to respond in the comments using only one number that reflects where you are spiritually right now. Comment only one in double quotation. 777-333-999. Choose carefully and do not explain it. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel, tap the bell icon, and share this message with someone you know is walking the same divine road. This is not just content, this is direction.
The divine plan that was decided in secret. Chosen one, understand this clearly. God does not improvise. He does not experiment. He does not wait to see how things turn out. Every move He makes is intentional, calculated, and already complete in His authority long before you see a single sign in the natural world. What you are experiencing right now is not the beginning of the plan. It is the revealing of what was already decided. Most people misunderstand divine timing because they judge it by visible progress. God works differently. He establishes outcomes first, then He allows time to prepare the vessels who must carry them. That is why your life has felt delayed while others moved ahead easily. That delay was not rejection. It was protection. It was preparation. It was concealment. God does His most serious work in secret, away from noise, applause, and opinion. There are plans, God announces, and there are plans God hides. Announced plans invite spectators. Hidden plans produce warriors. You were not meant to be watched while you were being formed. You were meant to be shaped quietly. That is why people never fully understood you. That is why your journey never fit normal timelines. That is why your growth often happened in isolation. God was shielding what He had already approved. Understand this truth. When God decides something, He does not revisit it emotionally. He does not debate it mentally. He does not cancel it socially. Heaven does not operate on uncertainty. Once a divine plan is sealed, everything else must eventually adjust to it. Circumstances move. People move. Doors close. Seasons end. But the plan remains untouched. You may ask why it took so long to see movement. The answer is simple. The plan was never waiting on God, it was waiting on alignment. God prepares environments, but He also prepares hearts. He prepares discipline, He prepares obedience, He prepares discernment. If the plan had manifested earlier, it would have crushed you instead of elevating you. So God slowed the process to strengthen the carrier. Think back carefully. There were moments when you felt pulled away from certain paths without explanation. Opportunities faded without drama. Relationships dissolved without chaos. That was not loss. That was extraction. God was removing what could interfere with what He already decided. He will protect His plan even if it means disappointing your expectations. God's silence was not absence, it was strategy. While you were wondering if He heard your prayers, He was rearranging outcomes. While you were asking for signs, He was refining your discernment. While you were waiting for confirmation, He was building endurance. Silence is not empty when God is involved. It is active, precise, and purposeful. Here is what most people never realize. The plan does not start when you receive clarity. It starts when God seals it. Clarity comes later. Movement comes later. Evidence comes later. That is why the enemy tried to confuse you early. Confusion is the last defense against destiny. If doubt could stop what God decided, it would have done so already. The fact that you are still standing means the plan survived every attempt against it. Chosen one. Your life was never random. Your struggles were not accidents. Your delays were not mistakes. They were all positioned within a larger design. God allowed pressure because pressure reveals structure. He allowed resistance because resistance strengthens resolve. He allowed waiting because waiting trains trust. Nothing was wasted. You must understand the difference between human plans and divine plans. Human plans require constant adjustment because they are built on limited vision. Divine plans do not require adjustment because they are built on complete knowledge. God already accounted for your weaknesses, your past, your mistakes, and even your fears. None of that disqualified you. If it had, you would not be here hearing this now. This is why the plan feels heavy now. You are close enough to feel its weight. The closer you get to manifestation, the more serious the atmosphere becomes. Playfulness fades. Distractions lose appeal. Conversations change. Your spirit becomes focused even when your mind is tired. That is not pressure from fear. That is gravity from purpose. Do not confuse slowness with stagnation. God often moves quietly when he is about to move publicly. The loudest seasons are rarely the most important ones. The most critical shifts happen underground before anything breaks through the surface. Roots grow before fruit appears. Structure forms before visibility arrives. There is also something else you must accept. When God decides in secret, he does not ask for consensus. Not everyone around you will understand what is happening. Some will misinterpret your stillness. Some will question your choices. Some will assume you failed when in reality you were being repositioned. Let them think what they want. God did not consult them when he decided your future. Chosen one. This is why you must stop explaining yourself. Explanation weakens authority. God is not asking you to convince anyone. He is asking you to stay aligned. When the plan manifests, no explanation will be necessary. Results speak louder than defense ever could. The plan being secret was also mercy. If everyone knew what God decided, they would have interfered, intentionally or unintentionally. Some would have doubted it. Some would have envied it. Some would have tried to benefit from it prematurely. God hides what he values until it is strong enough to stand without protection. Now you are entering a phase where secrecy shifts into movement. Not announcement, not exposure. Movement. Subtle but undeniable changes will begin to line up. You may not see the full picture yet, but you will feel momentum returning. Decisions will become clearer. Boundaries will feel necessary. Obedience will feel urgent. This is not coincidence. This is alignment catching up with decision. Remember this always. What God decides in secret cannot be cancelled in public. What he seals in heaven cannot be overturned on earth. You are not waiting for permission. You are stepping into execution. And that is why the atmosphere around your life feels different now. The plan has begun, not because you are ready, but because heaven is. Why God will not turn back this time. Chosen one understand this with maturity and clarity. God has turned back before. He has paused before. He has delayed before. But this season is not one of them. What is happening now is not a warning cycle. It is a fulfillment cycle. That distinction changes everything. Warnings invite correction. Fulfillment demands alignment. And once fulfillment is activated, God does not retreat. In earlier seasons, God spoke gently. He nudged. He redirected. He allowed room for mistakes because growth was still incomplete. But now you are not being trained. You are being positioned. Training seasons are flexible. Positioning seasons affirm. When God positions someone, he does it with finality. That is why this moment feels heavier than anything before. You are not being asked to learn, you are being asked to stand. God will not turn back because the preparation is complete. You are no longer the same person who started this journey. Your discernment is sharper. Your tolerance for distraction is lower. Your obedience has been tested repeatedly. You have failed, learned, repented, and matured. God does not move forward with unfinished vessels. If he is moving now, it is because the foundation can carry the weight. There is also something else happening that many chosen ones do not understand at first. God does not just move for individuals, he moves for timing. There are moments in history when heaven aligns multiple factors at once. People, resources, environments, authority. When those align, delay becomes disobedience. God will not turn back because too many things are already in motion beyond you. You may feel internal resistance rising, not fear, but seriousness. Not anxiety, but awareness. That is because your spirit recognizes finality. When God closes a chapter permanently, the atmosphere changes. Familiar comforts stop working. Old habits lose satisfaction. Previous coping methods fail. This is not punishment. This is transition. God removes crutches when it is time to walk with authority. Chosen. 1. Many people miss their moment because they expect God to be emotional. God is compassionate, but he is also precise. Compassion gives opportunity. Precision demands response. You have already received opportunity. Now you are receiving instruction. God will not repeat lessons endlessly. He is patient, but he is not permissive. Understand this clearly. Turning back now would compromise order. Heaven operates on order, not sympathy. If God reversed this plan, it would disrupt everything connected to it. Other lives, other assignments, other destinies. You are part of something larger than personal comfort. That is why obedience matters more now than ever before. This is also why spiritual opposition increased. Opposition is not a sign of error. It is a sign of proximity. Resistance always intensifies near irreversible transitions. The enemy does not fight beginnings. He fights conclusions. He knows God will not turn back, so he tries to exhaust you before movement becomes visible. That strategy only works if you mistake pressure for warning. Chosen one pressure is not God telling you to stop. Pressure is proof you are carrying something significant. Diamonds are not formed in calm environments. Authority is not built in ease. God allows pressure when he trusts the structure underneath it. If you were fragile, he would have slowed the process. The fact that it continues means you are stronger than you think. There is another reason God will not turn back. Your obedience already activated spiritual consequences. Every yes you gave when it was difficult locked doors behind you. Every time you chose integrity over ease, you crossed thresholds that cannot be uncrossed. God honors obedience with permanence. He does not bring you this far to reconsider. You might remember moments when God gave you an option. Choose this or that. Stay or leave. Speak or remain silent. Those moments are over. Options are replaced with assignments. Assignments do not ask for preference. They require submission. This is not about desire anymore. It is about alignment. Chosen one do not expect God to negotiate with fear. Fear is information, not instruction. God acknowledges it, but he does not obey it. If you are waiting for fear to disappear before moving, you will wait forever. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is obedience in its presence. God will not turn back because courage has already been proven in you. This season also exposes motives. God will not move backward to accommodate hidden agendas. If there are parts of your life that still seek control, recognition, or comfort above calling, they will be confronted now, not to shame you, but to free you. God removes what would limit what he is about to release. Understand this truth deeply. God turning back would mean denying his own word. And God does not contradict himself. If he spoke it, he will fulfill it. If he revealed it, he will establish it. Heaven does not issue empty declarations. Every word carries intention, authority, and completion within it. You may feel like you are standing at the edge of something unknown. That is accurate. Faith is not certainty of outcome, it is certainty of source. You may not see how everything will unfold, but you know who is leading. That is enough. God does not require full understanding. He requires trust. Chosen one. Stop asking if this is really happening. It is. Stop wondering if you are ready. You are ready enough. Readiness is not perfection. It is willingness. God fills gaps you cannot fill yourself. He supplies strength where yours ends. He provides wisdom when yours feels insufficient. This is why God will not turn back. The cost of retreat is higher than the cost of obedience. Retreat would confuse what he clarified. Obedience will complete what he began. And God always finishes what he starts. Stand firm. Do not romanticize the past. Do not fear the future. Stay present. Stay obedient. Stay aligned. The plan has crossed the point of reversal. What remains is execution. Signs you are already inside the plan. Chosen one. Listen carefully, because confirmation does not always arrive with excitement or dramatic change. Most of the time, it arrives as recognition. Something settles inside you quietly. You do not feel shocked. You feel understood. When you are already inside God's plan, your spirit recognizes truth before your mind explains it. That inner agreement you feel right now is not emotion. It is alignment. One of the first signs is a calm that does not match your circumstances. Situations around you may still be uncertain, unstable, or unresolved, yet inside you there is a steady awareness that things are not out of control. You are alert, but not panicked, concerned, but not shaken. This calm did not come from answers. It came from trust. When your life is moving according to God's decision, peace shows up before results do. Another sign is separation that happened without force. Certain people drifted away naturally. Some environments stopped feeling right even though nothing was visibly wrong. Conversations that once excited you now feel empty. This did not happen because you became superior. It happened because your assignment changed. God removes what cannot follow you forward. If separation occurred quietly, it was guided. You may also notice that your tolerance level has shifted. Things you once ignored now disturb your spirit. Compromise feels heavier. Distractions feel louder. This is discernment increasing. God sharpens discernment when precision matters. You are not becoming difficult. You are becoming aware. Awareness is necessary when direction becomes narrow. Another sign is a type of tiredness that rest alone does not solve. This is not physical exhaustion. It is transition fatigue. Your spirit is adjusting to new responsibility. Old patterns no longer energize you, and new rhythms are still forming. This phase feels heavy, but it is temporary. It is evidence that something is changing internally before it changes externally. Pay attention to how your prayers have evolved. You are not asking for random outcomes anymore. Your prayers are simpler, deeper, and more intentional. You ask for clarity, obedience, and strength rather than comfort. You listen more than you speak. This shift matters. When God prepares you for execution, He teaches you to hear clearly. Repetition is another strong sign. Certain themes keep returning through different situations, messages, or inner impressions. Not because you are searching, but because God is reinforcing direction. Repetition is emphasis. God repeats what He wants you to take seriously before movement accelerates. You may notice a reduced desire to explain yourself. Silence feels safer than defense. You are not hiding. You are conserving energy. When you are inside the plan, you stop trying to convince people and start preparing privately. Validation becomes unnecessary when direction becomes clear. Chosen one. If these signs resonate deeply, acknowledge it quietly. If one number reflects your current season, you may comment using only one in double quotation. 777, 333, 999, 666, or 444. Let it remain between you and God. Another sign is emotional refinement. Old wounds surface unexpectedly. Memories return without warning. This is not regression, it is healing. God does not allow unresolved pain to travel into new assignments. You may find yourself forgiving without being asked, releasing without closure. This is not weakness, it is readiness. Your sense of time may also feel strange. Days move quickly, yet progress feels slow. This tension exists because your inner world is moving faster than your outer world. God often accelerates inner change before visible change appears. When the outer shift comes, it happens suddenly. You may feel a growing pull toward discipline. Structure matters more now. Consistency becomes more important than motivation. You may feel led to simplify your life, reduce noise, and protect focus. This is not restriction, it is strategy. God narrows your path so your energy is not scattered. Another sign is doors closing even when you want them open. This can feel confusing or disappointing, but it is protective. God closes doors that would delay alignment. If something requires compromise, it is not for this season. Closed doors are often answers disguised as obstacles. You may also notice that you no longer react the way you used to. Situations that once triggered anger or fear now meet restraint. This does not mean you stopped feeling. It means you gained control. Emotional mastery is required for spiritual authority. God cannot place weight on unstable foundations. There is also an internal seriousness developing. You laugh less at certain things. Entertainment loses appeal. Idle conversations feel draining. This is not depression. It is focus. When destiny approaches, distractions lose their flavor. Another clear sign is internal conviction rather than external pressure. You do not feel forced. You feel guided. Even when choices are difficult, you sense which direction is right. That clarity is not from logic. It is from alignment. You may feel misunderstood more often. People sense change but cannot name it. Some project assumptions onto you. Some withdraw. This happens because growth creates distance. Not everyone can walk at your pace. One of the strongest signs is persistence. After everything you faced, you are still here. You questioned God, but you did not abandon him. You struggled, but you did not surrender your calling. That persistence is not personal strength, it is divine preservation. God does not preserve what he does not plan to use. If quitting were an option, you would have quit already. The fact that you are still listening is proof that the plan is active. You may also notice heightened sensitivity to truth. When something is false, your spirit reacts immediately. When something is aligned, you feel peace. This sensitivity protects you from deception. Your priorities may have shifted quietly. What once felt urgent now feels optional. What once felt optional now feels necessary. This reordering is intentional. God aligns priorities before he releases responsibility. You may feel drawn to stillness more than noise. Solitude becomes restorative rather than lonely. This is where clarity deepens. God often speaks most clearly when noise is removed. Another sign is inner courage. Fear still visits, but it does not dominate. You move forward even when certainty is incomplete. This courage is not boldness, it is trust. Chosen one being inside the plan does not mean life becomes easy. It means life becomes purposeful. Resistance does not disappear, but it loses authority. Doubt may knock, but it does not move in. If you recognize yourself in these signs, understand this truth. You are not late, you are not lost, you are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for what comes next. Do not rush outcomes. Recognition is enough for now. Stay attentive, stay obedient, stay aligned. When the moment arrives, what has been hidden will move into visibility without struggle. What God expects from you now. Chosen one, now that you understand you are already inside the plan, the question is no longer whether God is moving. The question is how you must respond. Revelation without responsibility creates confusion. Understanding without obedience creates delay. God does not reveal direction to impress you. He reveals direction to align you. What God expects from you now is not perfection. It is submission. Many people misunderstand this season because they think God is asking for more effort. He is not. He is asking for deeper obedience. Effort tries to control outcomes. Obedience trusts God with outcomes. That difference matters now more than ever. The first expectation is obedience without full explanation. God will not explain every step before asking you to move. If He did, faith would not be required. In earlier seasons, He allowed questions. In this season, He expects action. You may not see how everything connects yet, but you are still required to move when prompted. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. God is also expecting restraint. This is not the time to announce everything you sense. Not everyone needs access to what God is doing in you. Silence protects alignment. When you speak too early, you invite interference. God often asks His chosen ones to carry heavy assignments quietly until they are strong enough to stand publicly. Another expectation is consistency. Motivation will not always be present. Feelings will fluctuate, but obedience must remain steady. God trusts consistency more than passion. Passion can be emotional. Consistency is disciplined. If you only obey when you feel inspired, you will miss critical moments. God moves through those who show up even when it feels ordinary. God also expects you to let go of control. Control feels safe, but it limits growth. When you insist on knowing outcomes, timing, and methods, you restrict what God can do. Surrender does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop forcing. God is not asking you to be passive. He is asking you to be flexible. Another important expectation is separation without bitterness. God may continue removing people, habits, and environments that no longer fit your assignment. You must allow this without resentment. Holding bitterness ties you emotionally to what God is removing. Release must be clean for alignment to remain clear. God also expects integrity in small things. This season is not just about major decisions. It is about daily choices. How you speak when no one is listening. How you respond when you are misunderstood. How you handle temptation when it is subtle. Small compromises create large delays. God watches the unseen more than the visible. There is also an expectation of discipline. Structure will protect you where excitement cannot. Prayer that is scheduled matters more than prayer that is spontaneous. Reflection that is intentional matters more than reflection that is emotional. God builds leaders through discipline, not convenience. Chosen one. God is also asking you to stop seeking validation from people who cannot understand your assignment. When you seek validation, you give others influence they were never meant to have. God validates through peace, not applause. If something feels right in your spirit but receives no approval from others, that does not mean it is wrong. Another expectation is patience without disengagement. Waiting does not mean stopping. Waiting means staying ready. Many people grow tired in waiting seasons because they disconnect internally. God expects you to stay attentive. Preparation continues even when movement feels slow. God also expects you to guard your mind. Thoughts shape decisions. If you allow fear, doubt, or comparison to dominate your thinking, your movement will become unstable. You must actively reject thoughts that contradict what God has already revealed. Discipline your inner dialogue. There is also an expectation of humility. Authority flows best through humility. God resists pride because pride redirects glory. If you begin to believe you earned this moment, you will mishandle it. Everything you are stepping into is by grace. Remember that always. God expects you to release the past fully, not revisit it, not romanticize it, not resent it. The past served its purpose. Carrying it forward will slow you down. Lessons should be carried, pain should not. You cannot build the future while holding old weights. Another expectation is courage, not loud courage. Quiet courage. The kind that obeys even when it feels lonely. The kind that stays faithful without recognition. The kind that continues when results are delayed. Courage like this cannot be taught. It is proven through action. God also expects you to respect timing. Just because you are aware does not mean you should move prematurely. Timing matters as much as obedience. Moving early can be as damaging as moving late. Stay sensitive. Move when prompted, not when pressured. Chosen. 1. God is also asking you to mature emotionally. Emotional reactions can sabotage spiritual assignments. You must respond, not react. Process feelings privately. Do not let emotions lead decisions. Stability attracts trust, and trust invites responsibility. Another expectation is focus. Distractions will increase as alignment strengthens. Not all distractions are bad. Some look productive, some look helpful. But anything that pulls you away from your core assignment must be evaluated carefully. Focus protects momentum. God also expects gratitude. Not gratitude for outcomes, but gratitude for direction. Gratitude keeps your heart aligned. Complaining distorts perception. Even when things feel heavy, remain thankful for clarity. Many people live confused. You do not. Chosen 1. This season requires maturity, not excitement. It requires obedience, not explanation. It requires trust, not certainty. God is not asking you to do everything at once. He is asking you to do the next right thing with a willing heart. Do not rush visibility. Do not force progress. Do not fear stillness. Stay aligned. Stay responsive. Stay humble. What God expects from you now is simple but not easy. Obey promptly. Remain consistent. Guard alignment. Trust deeply. Everything else will fall into place at the right time. The plan is already in motion. Your role now is to walk in step with it. The consequences of ignoring this message. Chosen 1. This section is not spoken to create fear, but to establish truth. God does not warn to threaten. He warns to protect. When direction is clear and understanding is present, response becomes responsibility. Ignoring what God has revealed does not cancel His love, but it does create consequences that shape the path ahead. The first consequence of ignoring this message is delay. Not denial, not destruction, but delay. When alignment is postponed, momentum slows. Things that were moving quietly beneath the surface begin to stall. Progress that was forming internally struggles to express itself externally. This delay often feels confusing because you know what God has spoken, yet nothing seems to advance. The plan is still intact, but movement waits for agreement. Delay affects more than timing. It affects confidence. When clarity is ignored repeatedly, doubt gains space. You begin to question things that were once settled. You revisit decisions that were already confirmed. This is not because God changed His mind. It is because disobedience weakens spiritual assurance. Clarity requires response to remain sharp. Another consequence is confusion. Confusion is not always an attack. Sometimes it is the result of resisting instruction. When God gives direction and it is ignored, clarity withdraws to prevent greater damage. Confusion becomes a boundary. It slows you down, so you do not move incorrectly. Many people pray for clarity while avoiding obedience, but clarity follows alignment, not the other way around. Ignoring this message also leads to emotional exhaustion. When you move outside divine rhythm, everything requires more effort. Simple tasks feel heavy. Rest does not refresh the way it used to. You remain busy, but fulfillment fades. This happens because purpose is the source of sustainable energy. When you drift from it, even success feels empty. Another consequence is unnecessary struggle. God's plan includes provision, protection, and timing. When you resist alignment, you begin carrying responsibilities you were never meant to carry alone. Problems feel larger than they should. Resistance feels stronger than necessary. This is not because God withdrew help. It is because help is accessed through obedience. You may also experience repeated cycles. The same type of challenge appears again and again in different forms. The same lesson returns with new faces. The same decisions resurface. This repetition is not punishment. It is mercy. God repeats lessons until they are integrated. Advancement pauses until growth is complete. Ignoring this message can also dull discernment. You may still sense things spiritually, but with less precision. What once felt clear now feels vague. This dulling is protective. God limits discernment when it is not honored. Discernment is a responsibility, not just a gift. When it is ignored, it weakens. Another consequence is internal unrest. You may still function externally, but something inside feels unsettled. Peace becomes inconsistent. Joy feels distant. This unrest is not condemnation, it is conviction. Conviction exists to redirect, not to shame. But if ignored long enough, unrest becomes normal, and that is dangerous. There is also the consequence of misplaced effort. When alignment is ignored, you may invest energy into things that look productive but lead nowhere. You stay busy, but progress remains minimal. Activity replaces obedience. Effort replaces direction. This creates frustration because you feel like you are trying, yet nothing aligns. Ignoring this message can also affect your relationships. Misalignment creates friction. Conversations become strained. Misunderstandings increase. You may feel disconnected even when surrounded by people. This happens because alignment influences connection. When you're out of step internally, harmony externally becomes difficult. Another serious consequence is the weakening of spiritual authority. Authority flows from obedience. When obedience is delayed, authority diminishes. Your words carry less weight. Your prayers feel less confident, not because God stopped listening, but because trust was compromised. Authority is built through consistent response to instruction. You may also notice increased temptation. When alignment weakens, distractions become louder. Old habits resurface. Comfort becomes appealing. This is not because you became weaker. It is because resistance lowers spiritual focus. Temptation gains influence when direction is ignored. Ignoring this message can also lead to misplaced blame. Instead of recognizing misalignment, you may begin blaming circumstances, people, or even God. This shifts responsibility outward and delays correction. Growth requires ownership. Without it, cycles repeat. Another consequence is the loss of urgency. When direction is delayed repeatedly, sensitivity fades. What once felt important now feels optional. This dulling is dangerous because it normalizes disobedience. God speaks clearly, but over time, ignored instruction loses emotional weight. That is how people drift slowly without realizing it. There is also the consequence of missed opportunities. Some doors only open during specific windows. When alignment is delayed, those windows can close quietly. God may provide alternatives later, but the original opportunity does not always return in the same form. Timing matters. Ignoring this message can also affect others connected to your assignment. Your obedience impacts more than your own life. Delays ripple outward. People waiting for your alignment experience postponement without understanding why. God often ties multiple outcomes to one act of obedience. This is why responsibility increases with calling. Another consequence is spiritual stagnation. Growth slows, revelation decreases, hunger fades. This stagnation feels subtle at first. You still believe, you still function, but depth stops increasing. God does not force growth. He responds to willingness. Chosen one understand this clearly. Ignoring this message does not mean God abandons you. He remains faithful. But faithfulness does not remove consequences. Love warns, but it also respects choice. God does not chase resistance. He waits at alignment. If misalignment continues long enough, God may allow discomfort to increase, not to punish, but to awaken. Pressure becomes the teacher when instruction is ignored. Many people interpret this pressure as attack, but it is often correction in motion. This message is not meant to pressure you emotionally. It is meant to awaken you spiritually. You are being invited to respond while clarity is still present. Invitations have windows. When the window closes, opportunity shifts form. Do not ignore what you clearly recognize. Do not delay what you already understand. Obedience now prevents regret later. This season is not about gathering more information. It is about response. Reflection without action leads nowhere. Recognition without obedience creates frustration. Choose alignment while clarity is still available. Choose obedience while direction is still sharp. Choose response before resistance creates distance. The consequences of ignoring this message are not sudden destruction. They are slow erosion. And erosion is hardest to notice until much has already been lost. Respond now. Alignment restores momentum. Obedience restores clarity. Direction restores peace. This is your moment to choose wisely. What is coming after obedience? Chosen one, this is the part many people rush toward without understanding the cost that comes before it. What comes after obedience is not chaos. It is order. It is not noise. It is clarity. God does not reward obedience with confusion. He rewards it with alignment that produces peace, stability, and quiet authority. After obedience, the first thing you will notice is internal clarity. Decisions that once felt heavy will begin to feel settled. Not because every detail is visible, but because doubt loses its grip. You will know what deserves your energy and what does not. Confusion fades when obedience is present, because confusion cannot survive alignment. You will also notice a shift in how resistance affects you. Problems may not disappear immediately, but they will stop draining you. What once felt overwhelming will feel manageable. What once felt threatening will feel temporary. This happens because obedience places you under divine order. Order does not remove challenges. It removes unnecessary struggle. Another thing that follows obedience is peace that remains even when circumstances fluctuate. This peace is not emotional comfort, it is spiritual assurance. You may still face pressure, but panic will no longer lead your decisions. Peace becomes a stabilizing force. When peace governs you, wisdom flows more easily. After obedience, you will notice that doors open with less effort. You will not need to force access or explain your worth. Opportunities will appear naturally. Conversations will align, resources will come at the right time. This does not mean everything will be easy. It means it will be purposeful. God removes friction when it no longer serves growth. You may also experience sudden clarity about past confusion. Things that never made sense before will suddenly align. Delays will be understood. Losses will be reframed. Pain will reveal purpose. This clarity does not come from analysis. It comes from positioning. When you stand in the right place, perspective changes. Another result of obedience is quiet elevation. This is important to understand. God does not always elevate publicly first. Often he elevates internally. Your confidence becomes stable. Your reactions become measured. Your presence carries weight without effort. People sense something different about you without being able to name it. After obedience, relationships will also change. Some connections will deepen, others will remain distant without conflict. God aligns people according to purpose. You will stop chasing connection and start recognizing alignment. This creates peace in your interactions. You may also experience a stronger sense of authority in prayer. Your prayers become less emotional and more intentional. You ask with confidence. You listen with clarity. Obedience strengthens spiritual authority because it demonstrates trust. God entrusts more to those who follow instruction faithfully. Another thing that follows obedience is protection. Not absence of difficulty, but coverage within it. You will notice that certain dangers pass without impact, certain problems resolve before escalating, certain mistakes are corrected quickly. This is not luck. It is divine protection activated by alignment. Obedience also sharpens timing. You will feel when to move and when to wait. You will sense when to speak and when to remain silent. This sensitivity protects momentum. Acting at the right time matters as much as acting at all. God honors those who respect timing. You may also experience an increase in responsibility. This can feel intimidating at first. Do not confuse responsibility with burden. Responsibility given by God comes with provision. He does not assign without equipping. If responsibility increases, it means capacity has grown. Another result of obedience is emotional stability. You will still feel deeply, but emotions will no longer control direction. You will respond instead of react. This stability is required for leadership, whether visible or unseen. God builds leaders from the inside out. You may notice that your voice carries more weight, not because you speak louder, but because you speak with alignment. Words spoken from obedience carry authority. They land differently. They influence without force. This is a sign of spiritual maturity. After obedience, fear loses dominance. It may still appear, but it will not decide. You will move forward even when outcomes are not guaranteed. This is not recklessness, it is trust. Trust grows strongest after obedience because obedience proves God's faithfulness personally. You may also notice renewed energy, not constant excitement, but sustainable strength. The exhaustion of misalignment fades. Purpose energizes differently than ambition. When you walk in purpose, effort feels meaningful rather than draining. Another result is clarity about what does not matter. You stop being distracted by comparison. Other people's paths no longer threaten you. You understand that alignment is personal. This freedom brings peace. You may also experience sudden momentum. Long periods of waiting can be followed by quick progress. God often moves suddenly after obedience. What took years to prepare can manifest quickly when timing aligns. After obedience, gratitude deepens. Not because everything is perfect, but because direction is clear. Gratitude keeps your heart soft. It protects against pride. It keeps you teachable. Chosen one, understand this carefully. What comes after obedience is not instant reward, it is sustained alignment. Alignment produces stability. Stability produces authority. Authority produces impact. Do not measure what is coming by appearance alone. Some of the greatest changes will be internal before they become visible. Trust that God knows the order of things. What is coming after obedience is peace where there was pressure, clarity where there was confusion, strength where there was fatigue, direction where there was uncertainty. Stay obedient. Stay aligned. What God releases next will confirm everything you have walked through. The plan does not end with obedience. It begins to move with you instead of against you. Conclusion. Stand still and let God move. Chosen one. This is the moment where understanding must settle into conviction. You have heard what needed to be heard, not to overwhelm you, but to steady you. The plan has already begun. That truth is not meant to excite you emotionally. It is meant to anchor you spiritually. God does not begin what he does not intend to finish, and he does not reverse what he has already set in motion. You were led to this message because timing matters. Not everything is revealed early, and not everything is revealed late. Some things are revealed only when the heart is ready to carry them without fear or pride. This message reached you when your spirit could receive it with maturity. That alone should tell you something about where you stand. Standing still does not mean doing nothing. It means refusing to move out of alignment just to feel progress. It means trusting that obedience has positioned you correctly, even if results have not yet appeared. Stillness in God is not weakness. It is restraint guided by trust. It is strength under control. There will be moments after this when doubt tries to revisit you. Not because the message was unclear, But because transition always tests resolve. When that happens, remember this truth. God already accounted for every obstacle ahead of you before he ever spoke to you. Nothing surprised him. Nothing caught him off guard. Nothing you will face requires him to reconsider his decision. Do not allow impatience to pull you out of position. Impatience always demands movement before timing. God's instruction in this season is not to rush and not to retreat. It is to remain aligned. Alignment keeps you under protection. Alignment keeps you under provision. Alignment keeps you under direction. You may notice that life continues to feel serious for a while. That is normal. When purpose is near, frivolity fades. This does not mean joy disappears. It means joy matures. Peace becomes deeper. Confidence becomes quieter. You begin to move with intention rather than impulse. Let go of the need to explain yourself. Let go of the desire to be understood by everyone. Not all understanding is necessary. Some clarity is reserved for those who walk with you into the next season. Silence is not loss of voice. It is wisdom choosing timing. Trust what God has already confirmed internally. External validation is not required when internal alignment is present. If you felt resonance rather than confusion while listening, that was your confirmation. God often speaks through recognition more than revelation. Do not revisit doors God has already closed. Closed doors are not punishments, they are protections. Looking back weakens focus. Focus preserves momentum. What is ahead of you requires attention, not nostalgia. Remain humble as movement approaches. Humility keeps the heart teachable. Pride disrupts flow. Everything you are stepping into is by grace. Remembering that will keep you grounded when responsibility increases. Above all, stay responsive. God does not require perfection, he requires availability. When you remain responsive, correction is gentle and guidance remains clear. When you resist, pressure increases. Choose responsiveness. The plan is no longer forming, it is unfolding. Your role now is not to force outcomes or question timing. Your role is to stay where obedience placed you and allow God to move without interference. Stand still in faith. Stay aligned in action. Let God do what only he can do. What is unfolding does not need your anxiety. It needs your trust.